I can assure anyone who's worried that I have read the TikTok regulations for how to film while you are driving, and I am following all of them. I am legally compliant. On my way home from the supermarket, have you heard that thing overheard in Waitrose? It's where people say, oh, you know, mummy, I can't eat anything but avocados today and I can only have them with fresh sushi, you know, little things like that. Well, overheard in not Waitrose today, because I don't go there, but a different supermarket, were two very nice ladies having a chat about their first place choices for their schools. And in that chat was mentioned, well, of course, there's so many less places now, all the private kids are coming, so we probably won't get our first place. Ooh, that would suggest it's real, wouldn't it, Bridget? That would suggest that this is actually impacting people on the street. So state parents are now not getting their first choice because all the private kids are coming in. That's just what's happening in the real world outside. And then another little thought. As we're taxing private things, when's it going to be healthcare? When are we going to start taxing private healthcare? Identical systems. So we have the NHS that is beleaguered, broken, ruined. I actually think the staff in the NHS are some of the most amazing people. I don't think they're broken or ruined. I think the system that they work in is a bit knackered, but they are fully fit and fighting and doing the most phenomenal job. And Wes Streeting said, if you can afford to go private, do. We know that, we've talked about this before. But it's all gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? I mean, lots of things are going a bit quiet, like Keir Starmer with not being able to give any of his budget reviews because the figures are so diabolical. When are we going to start taxing private healthcare? Now, that seems abhorrent, doesn't it? I've got a feeling it's coming in. I've got a feeling we're going to start taxing it, because how can we not? We're saying it's okay to tax education, so why is it not okay to tax private healthcare? How can the government say that's not a thing? They can't, because they're already doing it with education. And then another thing, the state sector. So as I mentioned in a previous video, the state teachers are now beginning to question where the budget is coming from to support all of the children that are moving into the state sector. And as we said, it's about 8,500 at present, but we know it's more than that, but I don't want to get shot down for not having the right figures. But the money for them has to come from somewhere, and there is no money left in the government, so it's got to come from other resources. So the state teachers are rightly beginning to get a bit angry about that, because they don't have the resources, they don't have the money, and they don't have the capacity to teach all of these kids that have come in. So what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to the existing children that are already in school and are going to see their education compromised? I don't have the answer for any of this. I'm just throwing it out there. Somebody might have the answer for this. But on the streets right now, we are having parents complaining that they're not going to get their first choice because of all the state kids, the private kids coming in. I'm musing about whether we're going to start taxing private health, because there's no viable reason that I can see that we wouldn't, given that we're taxing private education. And who's paying for all the kids that are coming into private education because of Bridget's policy?